Okay, let's find out what President Obama's campaign thinks about all this. We're joined by his top political strategist, David Axelrod, former senior advisor in the White House. Thanks for coming in this morning. So I know you watched that debate. You watched Rick Perry take it from all sides last night. Did he prove that he can take a punch?
Well, he certainly took punches. How well is for others to determine. But what he learned is that when you're the front runner, you become a target. And one of the things about presidential races is they really do test you in that regard. What voters learned was that none of them had much to say about how they were going to create jobs now and how they were going to build an economy that works for the
Texas.
Yes, but more than in platitudinous ways, George. The fact is, what are you going to do right now to create jobs in this country? The president has a specific plan that would put teachers back in the classroom, construction workers back rebuilding bridges and roads and schools, that would put veterans back to work. There was nothing like that last night. The thing they all seem to agree on is that what we need to do is preserve those Bush tax cuts for the wealthy, corporate loopholes for the oil industry, and to roll back rules on Wall Street, which seems like the way we got into trouble in the first place.
And meanwhile, while they were doing that yesterday, the president was putting out how he was going to pay for this jobs plan that he introduced last week. And it was pretty clear from listening to Republicans in Congress yesterday that that's not going to go very, very far. Is the president willing to take a piece of his plan, say simply the extension of the payroll tax cuts, or is it all or nothing?
George, the president has a package. The package works together. We need to do many things to get this economy moving and people back to work, not just one thing. And so tokenism isn't enough. We want them to pass the plan. The American people want them to pass the plan. We don't want to play games. We don't want to engage in brinksmanship. We want to put people back to work. This package will do that. They ought to act now.
So it's all or nothing.
We want them to act now on this package. We're not in a negotiation to break up the package, and it's not an a la carte menu. It is a strategy to get this country moving.
Let's talk about Social Security. Rick Perry's been on the defensive over his claims in his book that he said he thought Social Security was unconstitutional, was a failure. Last night, though, he changed his tune. He said there's a slam dunk guarantee of benefits for everyone on Social Security or nearing retirement. Did he fix the Social Security problem he has?
Well, I don't know. What's interesting to me is all of a sudden Republicans are very passionate about Social Security. I hadn't heard Mitt Romney speak that way before Rick Perry got into the race. I don't know if he fixed his problem. I think they should focus on the main problem, which is how do we get people back to work, and how in the long term do we create security for the middle class. You know, 2 hours, not one word about education except that they would break up the Department of Education and eliminate it. 10 minutes on whether or not we should have created Social Security in the first place. Nothing on education, which is so central to our ability to compete in the future. It's really mind-boggling.
The president's facing a tough situation, as you know. 43% approval rating right now. 77% of Americans think we're on the wrong track. That's tough for an incumbent president. When you look at those kind of numbers, is the president matched up better against Rick Perry or Mitt Romney?
Well, at the end of the day, obviously they have differences, but in the main, they support the same kinds of things, George. They basically support the same economic theory that got us into the mess in the first place. Tax cuts for the wealthy, special interest tax breaks for corporations like oil companies, and letting Wall Street essentially write its own rules. I don't think the American people believe there's greater security in that for them economically and a better future for this country. So either way, the debate is going to be largely the same.
Okay, David Axelrod, thanks very much.
Nice to be with you.